Hi everyone, how are you today? Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please type a yes on your chat room. So let me play some music while we are waiting for others. Okay, we're still about 4 minutes earlier. So can you guys, all of you, text your friends, text your family who haven't joined yet. Please join us now. We are going to start very soon. Good evening, everyone. Hello, Jessica. Can all of you type where you're from? If you're from Penang, please type Penang. If you're from Sabah, please type Sabah. I want to see where you are from. I'm from Penang. Okay, I'm from Penang. I'm Tony here. Okay, I'm from Penang. Wow. Hello, Siu Kim. Hello, Joanne. Hello, Tan Siu Ying. How are you? Wow, a lot of from Sabah and Penang. Anyone from Terengganu, Pahang, Kelantan? Anyone from Northern? Kedah, Belize? Okay, can you text your friends to join us right now? I think most of you haven't joined yet. Can you text your friend, remind them we're going to start very soon. Tell them we're going to start very soon. Tell them join us right now. I hope you enjoy the music. Right, I think we better start right now. Hi guys, I'm Mr. Tony. Okay, I'm from Segi College, Penang. I think all of you can see me. Okay, hi again. Hi to everyone. Okay, so good evening, everyone. So thanks again for spending your quality time with us in this webinar. Okay, so today, okay, before we start, I have a soft reminder for everyone. Yeah, soft reminder. Okay, let me put up my slide. Okay, so if you have any question you'd like to ask, please feel free to put your question in our live chat room here. So our moderator, me, myself, or our speaker today will try to respond from your question from time to time, yeah? And if we're going to have a Q&A session also in the last 10 minutes, all right? And we will have attendance link for you to fill in for a digital cert. We will put that link up at the last 10 minutes also. So please stay with us until the end. Yeah. Okay. So for all SEGI staff, I think there are some SEGI staff here. So for all SEGI staff, please remember also to stay until the end of the session to get the link for attendance for SEGI staff only. Yeah. Okay. So we will only announce the attendance thing at the end of this session also. All right. Okay. So today we actually pleased to welcome Mr. Krishna, a special guest from our SEGI College Penang. So little introduction for him. Mr. Krishna is currently holding the position of the head of academic at SEGI College Penang, and he has more than 15 years experience. Okay, in let me put up. Okay, he has more than 15 years experience in education. So Mr. Krishna is actually a specialist in implement of learning management system, blended learning, and flipped classroom. So today he will be sharing his expert opinion on online discussion and sharing with Google Classroom. Okay, I believe all of you are experienced teachers. You are required to use Google Classroom nowadays, right? So with that, I actually ask you to give full attention to Mr. Krishna, and please help me welcoming him to this webinar. Right? Mr. Krishna, pass my.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Hi everyone, how are you? This is Ms. Krishna from SEGI College Penang. So first of all, thank you very much for spending your valuable time to attend our webinar today. So how are you all? How things are going on? We are actually on the 4th week of MCO, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of you have used to MCO now, I believe. And the best part is we should actually congratulate all of you. I mean, we should actually congratulate all of us. Why? Because you are still have all these initiative to learn and also to develop your skill, especially to give the best for our students, right? Okay, so before we can actually go into the practical aspect of Google Classroom today, let me just ask you a very simple question. How many of you have experience with Google Classroom? And can you just share with us what are your experiences are and what do you think about Google Classroom for your students and for yourself? So let us just hear some input and also some reflection, especially from teachers and educators around Malaysia, to see how you guys think about Google Classroom and your opinion about Google Classroom for your teaching and learning. So I hope you guys can be participative and you will be able to respond to this question. Ms. Kalai, thank you very much for attending the 3rd webinar. Appreciate and really thank you for all the support that you have given to us. Tony, can we have some input from the participants on our screen?
Yeah, sure. Let me put up.
Okay, so I'm going to actually read out some of your comments and let us see what kind of different types of comments that we are actually receiving from the participants. So Mr. Chin Ui, yes, have been using Google Classroom for 3 weeks. It's quite useful in a sense that we can put in a lot of teaching material. Yes, Chin, absolutely agree with you. So we also have comment from Haslina. I have used Google Classroom before. It's super convenient and you can actually gain materials from different platforms such as Quiz, Quizlet and National Geographic. Wow, that is very interesting. So Haslina, you can keep on sharing your experiences as we are going through this webinar. Hopefully we can actually learn from each other. Thank you very much, Haslina. So any other input? So we also have input from Miss Yogesh. I'm using Google Classroom. It's quite manageable, but I need to master all the function in Google Classroom. Not to worry, Miss Yogesh. Hopefully, by attending today's webinar, I believe that you can actually get some insight. And from there, you can actually practice at home and see how you can actually expand in terms of Google Classroom usage. So we have Lean here, very good, especially when live meet can be carried out straight away in the classroom. Yes, yes, I do agree, 100% agree with you. Thank you for your comments. I mean, participants, if you have or if you have encountered any so-called challenges while using Google Classroom for your students or for your classes, you can also highlight in your live chat, right? Let us see what is it. So we have Mr. Jana Mohan here. It's very effective. I need to learn more to give the best to my student. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. So we have Mr. India here. Okay, I hope that is not your name. But anyway, this is the comment, useful for primary school, but not really convenient for preschool. So I guess you are a preschool teacher, so maybe you can actually highlight why you think that it is not convenient for preschools. Okay. Yes, so we have Blue Vigro. Easier way to provide teaching material, absolutely, yes. Okay, so I believe that some of you have been using Google Classroom. Probably you are at the expert level now, and some of you have just started to use Google Classroom probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. And some of you may want to start, but you need a lot of exposure on what is Google Classroom is all about and how to start with Google Classroom. Okay, so we may have three different category of participants here. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to demonstrate to you guys on how you can actually use Google Classroom and how you can actually put up your content, assessment, questions, and how you can actually use other features in your Google Classrooms. All right. Now, I also did notice that some of you did post up, like for example, what is the difference between Google Classroom and Blackboard, for example. Now, what I can say is whether it is Google Classroom or Blackboard, these are actually tools which are categorized under learning management system. So besides Google Classroom, we do have Blackboard, we do have Moodle, we do have Canvas, and we also have quite a number of learning management tools that you can actually use for free or you have to pay. Right, but since all the teachers are required to use Google Classroom, so we are actually going to learn on how to use Google Classroom today. All right, so if you are ready, let us start. So while I'm demonstrating on how to use Google Classroom, appreciate if you guys can share your experiences, and if you have any questions to ask, you can still post and we will try our best to answer your questions as much as possible. Okay, so those of you who have started to use Google Classroom, good job, and make sure you are continuing to use Google Classroom. So without any delay, let us start. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. So I hope you can actually see my screen. So I'm going to open up a tab in my Google Chrome, and this is how you can actually access to Google Classroom. Now, every one of you who wanted to use Google Classroom, the first thing that you have to do is you have to make sure you have a Google account, right? So if you have a Google account, you can actually go to Google search engine. Your account, you have to log in into your account, and you can see a button besides your profile photo. So click on that button and you search for Google Classroom. So you can see there is an icon on Classroom. This is actually Google Classroom by right. So you can click on that and you will be able to go inside your Google Classroom. Okay, so like in my case, I have already registered my Google account. So the moment I click on Google Classroom, I will go to my Google Classes page. All right, so this is what your Google Classes page is all about. Now what happened here is I have already created a class called Tingkatan 3 with some details and with some content. If you haven't created any Google Classroom before, you have an option on how to do this. So all of you can actually notice there is a plus button here, right? So when you click on plus button, you were given an option whether to join a class or whether to create a class. So if you are an instructor, if you are a teacher, if you are a lecturer, of course you wish to create a class, right? So you can actually click on create class. Of course they will tell you all these things, and they will also introduce you guys to G Suite for education. All right, so just click on I have read and I have understand, and from there you can actually click continue, right? So when you click continue, what will happen is they will ask for basic information for your class. All right, so in this case you can actually name your class name as Tingkatan. Hopefully I got the right spelling. Okay, Tingkatan 1 Bestari, for example, right? Section is actually an optional, so maybe I'm not so interested to write the section. Subject, I can actually type it as geography, for example, right? And room, probably I just want to ignore it as well because it is not relevant to the to the school or institution that I'm working, right? So I have these two information, and probably what you can do is you can just write Tingkatan 1 Pestari, and you can write down your name, Cikgu Arcade, for example, right? And from there you can actually click on create. Okay, so when you create, when you have clicked the button create, immediately there will be your class, the Google class is created, right? And of course they will give you a lot of tips on how you can actually go about adding content to your Google Classroom, right? So all these things you can skip because you are listening to me, so I can actually go through with you, right? So when you are actually at the Google class itself, you should notice that your class name is appearing at the top, and you have some buttons here or some tabs here. For example, stream, classwork, people, as well as grade. You should also be able to see your setting button at this particular side, and you should be able to see your header and so on and so forth. Normally this is what you will be able to see when you are creating your class, right? So first thing that we have to look into it is we have to go into our setting, right? So how do we go into our setting is we can click on this button, the gear button. So once you click on gear button, it will go to your setting page, right? So in your setting page, all this information that you have actually typed in earlier, it will appear as what you have typed, right? So you have your class name there, class description, you didn't type anything, section room, you didn't type anything, and you have your subject as geography. So let us go into general, all right, general setting. So first thing is you should have your class code. Now this class code is auto generated, so you can actually leave it as it is. Now second setting is on the stream, right? Stream is actually, in some learning management system, they call it as activity stream. So this is where students and lecturer can see all those information that has been posted and updated in the Google Classroom, right? So you can actually have an option whether you want students can post and comment, or you want students to comment only, or only teachers can post and comment. So normally this is my preferences. I just want teachers to post and I only want students to comment. So I can just choose this, student can only comment, right? So classwork on stream, you can always choose as in show condensed notification, because it will actually show some details on what are the things that has been posted into your Google Classroom. All right, so this one you leave it as default, and the last setting is on your grading. All right, so under overall grade calculation, you can just choose as no overall grade. Why? Because we don't want the system to calculate students grade as in over 100. All right, maybe you may have other assessment which is also not part of 100% marks, so you have to be careful. So in this case, I'm going to choose no overall grade, but then you also have some other options here, like for example total point, whereby it will take the average of all the marks that you have actually assigned to your classwork. And also you have weighted by categories, whereby you can actually categorize the assessment based on certain percentage, like for example essay 20%, group project 10%, and so on and so forth. So in order to simplify our demonstration today, we just choose no overall grade, so you can actually save it. Okay, so once you saved, then of course it will pop up setting save, so you can actually start doing on other things. Okay, the next thing that I want to actually go through with you guys is the header. So your header should have your class name, should have the class code, and also should have details on your subject that you have typed just now, which is geography, right? Now the next thing is you can actually select a theme for your header. So simply simply click on select theme. So you will be prompt to quite a number of options, right? So you have general, English, math, science, arts, sports, and others, right? So it all depends on what you really, what subjects you are actually teaching. And from there, you can actually look into which theme that you may want to choose, all right? So maybe like, for example, since I'm using geography, I may actually want to use this as my theme. All right, so I choose this and then I click on select class theme. Okay, so you need to wait for some time until the class theme is totally changed. You can also upload on your own photo, but the theme is already like well designed, and it is actually nicely fits into the header that you have, right? So I'm just going to go through on what are the things that we can actually see and do in Google Classroom next. But instead of me actually starting everything from scratch, let me go to the class in which I have created before, so that I can show you the overall picture on what you can actually do within your Google Classroom. So I'm going to go to Tingkatan 3 Delima, because I have created this class yesterday and I have actually put in a lot of content in this class, so I can actually go through with you on what are the things I have. So if you have not actually explored into all those features, this is the good time for you to start exploring. So the first thing is on people. All right, so you can see stream, classwork, and people, as well as grade, right? So you can actually click on people. All right, so under people you have, or you should have, your name as teacher. You can actually choose to have a co-teacher if you wish. If you think that you are you good, it is good enough for you to be the only teacher for this particular subject, then just leave it as it is. All right, now the challenging part is how you are going to add your student. There are two ways for you to add students. First is you can click on this button and you can actually invite your student by sending email. So of course you need to actually type in their names, like for example you have to type in their email, and from there you will be able to send email to the student, and the email will prompt the student to actually join this particular class, right? So like what I did here, I have two students, right? Of course myself and another person here, right? So I have invited these two people, assuming that I have two students. I have invited these two students via email. They already got an email notification in their inbox. They click the join and they will be inside my Google Classroom. All right. So every student that actually joining my class, I should have a list of student over here. So with this student, what I can do is I can actually email the student, selective student. Sorry. So I can actually send email to the student one by one, or I can actually choose from the action. So I can actually remove all the student, I can mute all the student, or I can email all the student one shot. So this is one of the option for you to invite your students to join your Google Classroom. All right. Now, second option on how you can invite your students is, you did notice you have a class code, right? Now this class code is unique to your class. So if you want your student to join your class, as I told you, your second option is you can magnify your class code. You can just say, you can just copy your class code, and then you can actually paste it into your Telegram or WhatsApp group and just ask your student to actually join the class using this particular code. All right. So that is actually second option. So let me just teach you or go through with you on how your student can actually join your class. So since they already have the code, assuming that they already have the code, they have to log in Google Classroom. They go to plus button and then they can click join class. So when they click join class, it will actually ask the student to enter the class code. So once they enter the class code, automatically they will be in your class. So in this case, they will be in my Tingkatan 3 class, right? So I hope you can actually catch up and up to this extent. Okay, so if you have any doubts, any questions, you can post it or you can repost it, and let us see like how we can actually go about it, answering all your questions. Okay, so that is basically how you can actually add your students by using email or by using class code. Okay, now the the next features that I would like to expose to all of you is stream, right? So as I told you, stream is actually a very wonderful features whereby everything that you are updating in your class Google Classroom will be captured in the stream. All right, like for example, when I actually started this classroom, this Google Classroom, this is what I posted. Hi student, welcome to Google Classroom for subject Asasi Science Computer. Say hi and introduce yourself. Let us start the journey. So you can actually start with a very simple message, very simple welcoming message to your student, so that student feel they are engaged, student feel they are connected, and they can actually start interacting with you, right? So I may actually receive a lot of comments from students saying that, hi, my name is so and so, I'm your student, and so and so. So this is where you can actually start engaging with your student and make sure it is interesting, attractive, and make sure you actually develop a good connection with your student in Google Classroom, right? So the next thing is, whatever I'm actually creating, whether it is content, whether it is question, whether it is assignment, everything will be updated into my stream, right? And on top of that, I can actually copy link from my Padlet, or I can copy link from my Google Drive. Let's say if I have some material over there, and I can actually share the link over here as well. So that is basically how you can actually use up activity stream for you to communicate with your student, especially on any announcement or any important materials that you wish to share, right? It's very simple for you to use stream. So you just have to click here, right? and then you can actually type whatever message that you want under this particular text box. All right. Hi, like for example, today is our second class. How are you all? Right? And then from there, I can actually post. So if you wish to make your message more interesting, you can also add it with some content. You can add it with some link. You can upload a file, or you can even attach with a YouTube video. So it all depends. Like for example, I think I want to actually put up a motivational video for students, especially for second class. So I just click on YouTube video, and then I just type, like for example, I type motivation. I search for motivation video. Okay, now it is always important for us to not to upload very big videos. All right, huge videos or videos that have that can actually go more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Definitely it is not recommended. All right, so we can actually pick up a very simple video whereby it is only for example 3 minutes. Just choose the video and you can actually add the video. Right, so once you add the video, the link for the video is already being uploaded, it is already being published here. So the next thing is you can post. So even when it comes to posting, you have an option. You can actually post now by clicking the option post. You can schedule your post, meaning that you can choose when you want this post to appear by choosing the date and time, and you can actually save the post as a draft, and probably you can come back again and start posting. So normally I feel like teachers, the moment you have something, you want to post it immediately, right? You don't want to schedule it. I mean, most of us, including me, so you just post it. Okay, so once it is posted, my message will appear in my stream, my text will appear in my screen, and my video will also appear in my stream. So that is how simple you can actually play around with stream when it comes to Google Classroom. Are we good at this point of time? Okay. All right, so let me move on to the most important part of Google Classroom, which is classwork. All right, so I'm going to click classwork. And these are the items that I have basically created for my students for this particular Google Classroom. So assuming that I'm teaching foundation of computer science or Asasi science computer. So what I'm doing here is I have created topic for my class. For example, topic 1 on introduction of computer science, and I have some activity. I have topic 2 followed by activity, topic 3, and I have activities. Same thing goes to topic 4, and I have some activities over there as well. All right. So I would always suggest and recommend, in fact, advise all the teachers, if can, you just organize your content according to your topic. Okay, create the topics because you know your topic well, you know what you're going to teach. You can name it as topic, you can name it as lesson, and once all your lesson has been created, then only once your lesson is created, you may actually add in your activities accordingly. So how do we create topic? Right, so you can actually click on the create button, and you can see the option topic, right? So you click on topic. So over here I have I'm going to have topic 5, a new topic, and my topic 5 is on networking, assuming that this is my topic number 5. So I'm going to add this. Okay, so whenever you create new topic, your new topic will be always at the top, so you can just leave it as it is. So this is my topic 5, and this is the topic name. Okay, so what you can do with the topic, you can rename it, you can delete it, you can copy the link and paste it in the stream, or you can move down the topic 5 to you can actually move down your topic 5. Okay, or probably you can look into rearrangement of your topic. All right. Now, when you created topic 5, it is not enough, because your topic 5 must have materials. Your topic 5 must have activities. So I'm going to actually demonstrate to you on how you can actually share materials, especially for specific topic. In this case, topic 5. All right. So if you want to actually share your material, what you do is you click the create button, and then you can type or you can choose materials, right? Okay, so when you are in material, right, so you can actually type the title, like for example, basic networking, right? So you can type notes for basic networking, right? But that is totally optional. Now, the most important thing is now we are actually going to share our files. So if you want to share your files, there are few ways, especially 2 ways for you to do that. First thing is you can actually upload your file by, I mean, if you have files in Google Drive, you can actually upload those files from Google Drive. Or if you have your files, or if you have some content in some other websites or some other web pages in internet, then you can copy the link and you can actually paste it over here, or you can actually upload your file. Like for example, since I have created a PowerPoint slide on basic networking, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on file. Okay, I'm going to go to upload and I'm going to select the file. So I am having this file in my desktop. Okay, so I can actually click on basic concept, assuming that this is my file for networking, and I can just open it. Okay, so once you can see your file is already ready, you can start uploading. All right, so of course it will take time, depends on your file. So once your file is already uploaded, you will be able to see this in this particular page, right? Now on top of that, you can also add videos from YouTube. For example, you want to let your student to learn more, you can actually add videos from YouTube. All right, so like for example, I'm going to type basic networking. Okay, I'm going to search. Okay, so it has a lot of videos here, like for example, introduction to networking, learn basic networking in 4 minutes. So again and again, we have to be very sensitive on the video that we are uploading. All right, so make sure our video is short, impactful, and comprehensive. So if you are going to upload a video for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or even an hour, I'm pretty sure your students are not going to go through all the video. All right, so it will actually distract them from learning. All right, so make sure you select a video which is simple, short, and impactful. So I'm going to choose this video and I'm just going to add. Okay, so if I do that, I will have the video link over here. All right, so once you already prepare all these things, another option that you can actually share your material is you can actually click on create. All right, so you can actually create your content from scratch by using Google Doc, Google Slide, Google Sheets. You can even do drawing, or you can even create Google Forms. All right, I don't think I have a lot of time to cover all these things. Probably if we have feedback saying that you want to learn more things on Google Documents and so on, yes, we can actually arrange another webinar on this. So at this moment, this is how simple you can actually share your materials with your student. Okay, now before you can actually move ahead, you have to look into this column. All right, so you are sharing this material for your student, especially tingkatan 3 dan 5, and you can actually have an option whether you want to share it with all the students or whether you want to share it with selective students. So in this case, I want to actually share it, I want to share it with all the students. So I just leave it, and I want this material to be under the topic of networking. So I choose topic 5, networking. So again, when you go to post at the top here, you have an option whether you want to post now, whether you want to schedule a post, or whether you want to save your draft or discard your draft. All right, so you can always choose post now. Okay, so you can notice that I have actually posted something as part of my topic 5 on networking. So when you click here, when you click on this activity, you will notice that my message is appearing here, and I have all the content that I've posted over there. All right, so if you want more detail, you can click view material, and you will be seeing all these things in a different view. Right, so that is one thing on how you can share your materials. All right, now let's say, like, for example, I want to pose a question to my student. For example, I want them to give me feedback. What do they think about my class today? All right, so if I want to create this kind of simple question, right, what I need to do is I go to create, and I can actually choose questions. All right, so can you see question there? So click on question. So you will go to a page whereby you can actually ask question. Right, so I'm going to ask question, what do you think about our class on networking? Right, so from there I'm actually going to give them a multi-choice option. Right, like for example, I may actually choose as very good, for example. Okay, and I can actually have another option, I don't understand. I mean, you guys can actually decide on your question and on your options later, right? In fact, you can actually have more than one options as well, but I just want to make it simple. So I'm just going to leave it with 2 options, not more than 2 options, right? So I'm just going to give instruction to my students saying that please answer the questions below. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this. Of course, you can add with some other component from your Google Drive, link, file, and YouTube. If you don't wish to add anything, then you just leave it as it is. So now we go to this particular column. I want to give it to my Tingkatan 3 Delima student and all student. And since this is a very simple question, it is something like a survey, so I'm not going to grade the student. So you just choose ungraded. Right, and you can actually choose whether you want to set a due date or whether you don't wish to set a due date. So in this case, I'm not going to set a due date. If you wish to set a due date, you can actually choose from this button to select which due date that you want to select. Like for example, I want to set it due date as in for example, today is 17. I want to set the due date as tomorrow, 18 April, and you can actually have an option to choose your time. All right, but since this is a very simple question, so I prefer not to set any due date. So let me cancel this. Okay, so I just choose no due, sorry. So I just choose no due date, right? And you want to ask this question under the topic of networking, because you're asking question about class on networking. So you just put it here, right? And you have an option whether you want student to see the class summary. Like for example, how many of them have chosen very good, and how many of them have selected I don't understand. Then you can actually check on this particular option. So once you are done, you go to the ask button, and under ask you still have schedule, save draft, the same thing. So you can actually click the button ask. Okay, so once you have asked this question, the question is already appearing under the topic of networking. So I can just click on the question, and I have all these details. Now in this detail, there is something that I need to actually share with you. When you see this information to assigned, meaning that the question is actually being sent to 2 of your students. In fact, I have only 2 students, so this question is actually sent to my 2 students. And when you see turned in 0, it means at this particular moment my student have not attempted this question yet. So that is the meaning of turned int. All right, so if your student have attempted, this question, you should have turn-in 1, turn-in 2, depends on the number of students who have attempted your questions accordingly. Right. So I hope you understand on what is actually going on, especially in terms of posting questions. Right. So let me move on. I'm going to actually demonstrate on how we can actually create assignments. All right. So again, I want to create assignment under the topic of networking. So I'm going to click on create button and I'm going to choose assignment over here. Right. So I'm going to click assignment. So my assignment topic is, for example, my assignment topic is I want to my assignment topic is on this. All right. And I'm going to give, sorry guys. Okay. So I'm going to give an instruction to my students. Like for example, give 5 points to differentiate between intranet and extranet, for example. Right. So this is my question, and this is my instruction is all about. So again, you can do the same thing. You can add files and so on. If you want if you want to support your student, then you can actually support it with your PowerPoint slide. You can actually support it with YouTube videos. All right, for example. All right. So in this case, I'm going to this particular column. Again, I'm going to give it to my student and I want all the students to take up this assignment. But when it comes to point, maybe I'm going to limit it to 10. So this is the maximum point the student can actually obtain after they have actually answered this particular assignment. Right. So due date, maybe I want to set it due date here. So I want to set it as tomorrow, and most probably I want them to finish it by 12 p.m. Okay, so I can actually set it due date as it is, I mean, as what I have highlighted here, and I want this assignment to appear under the topic of networking. Right now, rubric is going to be a lot of demonstration. All right, so we really have no time to look into rubric. However, in future, if you are having similar type of webinar, definitely I'm going to cover rubric with you guys. All right, so at this moment we just ignore rubric, but you can actually create rubric and you can actually put your rubric as part of your grading mechanism. Right, so once you are done, you can actually click assign. Okay, so what you notice here is the assignment has been created, and when you click on this, again you will notice turn-in 0, assign 2, and the question is already up there. All right, so later I'm going to show to you on how the student can actually view all these things that you have uploaded and how they can actually start answering. All right, now my next thing that I'm going to actually go through with you, demonstrate to you, is how do you create quiz. Right, something interesting. Right, now let's say that I want to create quiz for topic 5, networking. All right, so I'm going to click the button create and I'm going to choose quiz assignment. Okay, now, this is something different, slightly different compared to what we have actually gone through just now. But let me demonstrate to you step by step. So you can actually call it as quiz 1 under networking, assuming that you may actually give few quizzes, and we just take it as this is the quiz 1. All right. So you can actually type here, I mean, in your instruction, you can type answer all the questions. Right, so in order for you to create quizzes or quiz questions, you will have this blank quiz link, which is actually a Google form. So you can actually click on blank quiz. Okay, so you will actually go into your Google form. So the first thing that you have to do when it comes to blank quiz is you have to change the name of this blank quiz. So you call it as quiz 1 networking. Okay, so similar to there, you can also call it as quiz 1 networking. And a form description, if you do not wish to have form description, you just leave it as it is. All right. So now we are going to learn how to create question. Like for example, I'm just going to click on this and I'm going to type question here. LAN stands for blah blah blah. Okay, so from here I'm going to create option. Like for example, I'm going to type local area network, and my second option is going to be large area network, for example. Right, let's say your question only have two options, leave it as it is. The next thing you have to do is you have to click on answer key. Right, so click on answer key. You have to type what is the score that what is the maximum scores that student can obtain if they answer it correct. So I'm going to choose 2. That means each correct answer I'm going to award them with 2 points. And after that, once you have decided on the points, you have to choose the right answer. Right, so once you are done, you can actually click on add answer feedback. All right, so like for example, you can give feedback if the answer is wrong. You can also give feedback if the answer is right. Like for example, for all correct answer, I want to give feedback as in well done. All right, so I can save. Okay, so once you are done, you can actually click done here. All right, and everything has been set as for this particular question. And if you think that this question is something compulsory for student to do, then you may actually click on required. So once you see this colored button, meaning that student is it is compulsory for them to answer this question. All right, now how about creating another question? So if you want to create another question, easy, you just click on the plus button here. Right, so click on plus button and you can actually type another question here. Okay, like for example, any questions. All right, like for example, what is the important device in star topology? Okay, so don't worry about the content. All right, so we just keep on going. All right, assuming that these are questions, right? So I'm going to put it as hub. Okay, I'm going to put it as Wi-Fi, for example, as my option. And once I'm done with my option, if it is multi-choice, then of course I choose multi-choice, and I can just go to answer key and I'm going to choose 2 as my point, and I'm going to choose the right answer. Right, and I'm going to click done. All right, and from here I also want the student to answer it. I want to make it compulsory, so I just choose the required. Right, so once you are actually done with your Google form, so you will have what you will have your total points here. I have 2 questions and these 2 questions comes to a total point of 4, and you can actually beautify your quiz. For example, you can actually choose to customize your theme. Like in this case, I can actually choose an image for my header. Like for example, I click on choose image and I can see what I have here. Right, maybe under work and school, I may actually choose something interesting. Right, okay, assuming that I have this. Right, I just click on insert. So when you do that, you will have a header and your quiz, the entire quiz looks more attractive. So you can even choose your background color, right, to make it more outstanding. Okay, and you can also choose your font style. All right, so once you are done with the setting, you are basically done. Okay, so the next thing is you can actually start clicking on preview button so that you can go to the preview, and this is basically what your students will be seeing. All right, so that is why, I mean, that is one of the reason why you need to click on preview button to see it, right? And if you look into settings, they may actually ask, or they may actually give you all these options, right? On how you want to go ahead with your quiz. For example, if you want to collect students' email, then you can just click on this. And if you want to limit the students to answer only once, then you can actually choose this option. All right, then you can actually save it. Okay, now the best thing about Google form is every time you are making changes, it will be auto save, so you don't have to worry whether it is saved, or don't worry that you don't have to worry where to find the save button. Right, so once you are done with Google form, you don't have to click on send or whatsoever. All right, you can just leave it as it is, and you will have everything updated in this particular area. Right, now you will still notice it is still as in blank quiz. Why? Because you have to actually click the assign, so that the quiz name will be changed to quiz 1 networking, for example. All right, so before we can assign, let us look into this part. Right, so your point possible from the Google form just now, it is 4. Right, so you want to set a due date, you may. Right, so let us see that you want to set it as 20th April, and time maybe you just leave it as 11:59 p.m. and you want to create it under topic 5. Right, of course it has rubric again, but of course we are not going to cover that. All right, so you click on assign. Okay, so you have your quiz, right? So again, you have turning 0, assign 2, and you have the quiz question. And now you will notice that your quiz question has been changed from blank quiz to quiz 1 networking. So that is how interesting it could be, right? So since we have actually done quite a number of activities, we have learned how to share our material, we learn how to create question, we have learned how to create assignments, and we also have learned how to create quizzes. Let us just go to stream and see what is happening in the stream. Right, so I'm going to click stream. Right, so this is what you have in stream. Remember, this was the last thing that I have actually shared in my stream, but since you have actually posted material, you have posted question, you have posted assignment, and you also have posted quizzes, quiz. All right, so you have all these things updated in your stream. So as a student, they can actually go to all these streams, activity streams. They can click and they will be able to see what are the things that has been posted. Okay, so maybe we can actually take some questions before we can even proceed to other things. Any questions, lecturers or teachers? I just have a few more things to cover. So if you have any question, you can quickly ask now. What is the maximum number of invite teachers and students to join? At this moment, I think there is not much of maximum number. You can actually invite as many as possible. But if you guys are using the G Suite education package, you may want to check with your administrator to see whether there is any maximum number for you to add or no. All right? Any other questions? Waiting. Can we have video conferences? Yes, here in GC. Darren, you have actually raised a very good question. My next presentation is basically going to teach you on how you can actually embed or how you can actually include Google Hangout in your Google Classroom. All right, so hope you can be patient. I'm going to cover it in a very short period of time. Any other questions? So if there is no question, a lot of you are asking about video conference, I believe, all right. Since it is actually an important topic, All right. So I'm going to demonstrate to you guys on how you can actually include so-called Google Hangout into your Google Classroom. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now. So hope you can see my screen. Again, I'm going to go to my class, Tiga Delima, and I'm going to go to my classwork. Now, in your classwork, there is also some additional features that you can always use, which is your Google Calendar and class drive folder. All right. So what you can do with Google Calendar is, let me click on Google Calendar. Okay, now today is 17, right? And I wish to have a Google Hangout session with my student. So I have actually created a Google Hangout session with my students, right? So once I have created the Google Hangout session with my student, it will have the link for the students and also for myself to click and to join the Google Hangout session. Let me demonstrate to you on how this can be done. So let's say like I want to have a class with my students on 21st. All right. So I want to have a class with my student on 21st, and I want to have it at 3 o'clock. So I go to 3 p.m. and I click the content on 3 p.m. Right. So I'm going to type a title, like for example, Google, class on networking, right? So location, nothing much. Now this is important. You have to choose this option as Hangout, so that it will create a Hangout link, and you will be able to share this Hangout link to your students via email or through your stream, and student will be able to click and join your Hangout. All right. You can actually have notification. So if you want, you can set notification 30 minutes before 3 p.m. And you can also add notification. Like for example, I want email notification as well 30 minutes before 3 p.m. Right. So you can actually set all these things, and you want this to appear in, you have to decide whether you want it to appear in which calendar, your personal Google Calendar or your whichever class calendar. So I wish this to appear in my class calendar, so that my student will actually have the notification at the same time, and also they will have the invitation at the same time, right? So the rest of the things you can, I mean, as in description, you can just put please attend the session. Okay. Few are compulsory. Okay, so once you are done, then what you can do is you can save it. Now let's say if you wish to invite other guests, that means students who are not in your tingkatan 3 dan 5, you still want to invite them, or you want to invite any other teachers, right? So you can just type in their email address, and you can also be able to send a notification or email to them, right? So I'm not inviting anyone, so I just want to have this Google Hangout session with my students, so I can just save, right? So once you save, you will notice that there is something in your calendar now on 21st of April, which is your Google Hangout session. So click on the session and you will have the summary. All right, so you have the link, and when you click the link, you will be able to go to Google Hangout, and on top of that, you can edit, you can delete, you can even email to your guests, and other options, like for example, you can print, you can also save it into your own personal Google Calendar, and you can do you can also publish the event. All right, so that is basically how you can include Google Hangout session within your Google Classroom. Okay, all right, let us leave that. Now I'm going to show you the next thing, which is on grids, right? So this is something that every lecturer need to have. So okay, like for example, I have actually created quite a number of activities. All right, these are the activities that my students have attempted, and also they have been graded. Now, this is activity that I have actually created earlier, but it is not attempted by my student. And this is the activity that I recently created, but unfortunately, it is not attempted by the student. Maybe this student have attempted. I need to see what the student have actually written. Like for example, this student have answered, what do you think about the networking class? So I can just go for view submission, and you can see that this student have answered as very good. So that is how you can see the quiz answers. All right. And this is my assignment. None of them have attempted anything. And this is my quiz one, the one which has a maximum of 4 marks because of 2 MCQ questions. And also none of them have attempted. So this particular section will actually give you an overall summary on what are the activities that you have given to your student, who have attempted, what is their marks, and what is the summary or what is the class average at the end of the day. All right, so that is basically how you can look into it. All right, now of course this is all, I mean, whatever things that we have covered today are basically from the lecturer's viewpoint or from the lecturer's perspective. So we also need to understand how a student can basically go into our Google Classroom and what are the things the student will be able to see. All right, let me show you this. Okay, assuming that I have another account, and this is a student entering into Tingkatan 3 under Cikgu RKK. So what the student will see at the top is stream, classwork. They will be able to see people, but the tab on grades will not be appearing because the grade tab is mainly for teachers. So as a student, as part of this class student, I will be able to see my teacher, I will be able to see my classmate, and if I want to send any special email or some private email or direct email to this particular student, I can actually click this button and I will be able to send the email. All right, so let us go to the stream now. So in my stream, I will notice that my lecturer have actually posted something, and I will also note that my lecturer have actually asked some questions. So I can actually type something here, like for example, I am fine, sir. Right, how are you? Okay, and I can actually post the comment. Okay, and when I go up, I will notice that my lecturer have actually posted something. So sorry, yeah. When I go up, I will notice that my lecturer have shared some material with me. So I can actually click on this button and I can go to the page to download all the material that my lecturer have shared. Otherwise, I can actually go to classwork and I can notice that in topic 5, a lot of things has been uploaded, a lot of things has been shared. So what I can do is I can click on basic networking. I will get to know that something has been uploaded. So I can just click on view material and I can go to this page and I can start downloading each and every material. All right. I can also leave my comment saying that I like this material. Thank you very much, for example. All right. So other than that, for example, if I were to answer all these things, all right. So what do you think about your class on networking? This is the summarized version, or I call it as condensed version. So I can view the question. I will be able to go to the complete question. I have class comment there and I can start answering. Like for example, I can say it is very good and I can turn in. All right. So I can actually send a private comment saying that you are the best, for example. Okay. So I can send the command, okay, and I can actually turn in. Now turn in, it means that you have attempted the question, you are submitting your answer, right? So they will prompt you a question saying that you won't be able to make changes to your answer after you submit, so you just click turn in because you want to submit the answer somehow or other. Okay, so that is how the student can actually answer the quiz question, right? So the next is regarding assignment, right? So I have this summarized version of my assignment. I can go to this and I will see the title, I will see the question, I can comment, I can send private comment. If the student were to submit their questions, let's say they have typed it out in Microsoft Word or whatever, they can actually click on add or create, and they can actually upload a file, or if they have a Google document, or they can actually go to Google document. For example, in this case, I'm going to create the document using Google document. Okay, so it is created. All right, the link is created. So I just click on this. So I just type intranet is blah blah blah, right? And then I can type extranet is blah blah blah, right? So don't worry, as I told you, your Google document will auto save, so you don't have to share, you don't have to do anything, right? So what you can do next is, since your Google document is created and this is the content that you have typed, you can even cancel it because it will be updated here. So you can actually turn in, right? That means you are submitting. So it will say that one attachment will be submitted for this title, and this is the link is all about, and then you just make sure you turn it. Okay, so that is on assignment submission. And lastly, is on your quiz. So click on quiz, you will have the summary of quiz, then you click on view assignment, right? Actually over here there is nothing for you to submit as in attachment, so you don't bother about this area. You just need to click on quiz 1 networking, whereby you will go to Google form, right? So under Google form, you just type your email as in something like this, and you just start answering, right? Start answer and you click submit. Now when you submit, the best part of the quiz is you will be able to see your score itself, right? So when I click view score, I will be able to go into the scoring section of the Google form. So I got the right answer, I got my feedback from the lecturer, I got the right answer for question number 2. Okay, unfortunately my teacher never said anything as in feedback, and I will be able to know my total points here, right? So that is basically how a student can attempt to a quiz. Okay, so you can actually cancel it as a student. Sorry. So that is the basic things the student will be able to see. So when you are going back to lecturer's view, right? So let's say I'm going to lecturer's view now. So I will be able to see that, like for example, myself, I mean, as a student, I have actually attempted this question, and when I click view submission, I have the summary over here. Okay, so that is one thing. And when I go to intranet versus extranet assignment, I can actually view submission. Okay, so I will, I mean, as a teacher, I will know what my student have actually submitted. You can give comments, you can basically do anything whatever you want over here, but at the end of the day, you can actually give your marks, right? Like for example, I'm giving this student 7 marks. Once you have given the marks, make sure you return the marks, all right? So that, all right, your student will be able to see the marks as well. Okay, so the marks has been updated, right? So for quiz, now quiz is a problem here because we are actually using a free version. So if you want to see the quiz marks the student have obtained, especially when you are using the free version, probably G Suite you can import the grade, but for this free version, what you can do is you can actually go to class drive folder, okay, and make sure you are in tingkatan Tiga Delima folder. You can see that there is Tingkatan Tiga Delima. You can click on quiz 1 networking that the student have attempted. And from there, you can actually click on response, right? So you can see that what are the responses that the student have actually given based on the quiz question that you have posted. And if you want to see individual response, you just click on individual tab and you will be able to see the student's email. And from here, you will be able to see that, like for example, I as a student, I have answered correctly for my question 1 and for my question 2, right? So from there, you can actually go to Google Classroom, you can go to grade and you can update the points, right? And once you have updated, it will definitely save and you want to share the marks with your student. I think the student already know just now from Google Form, you can still return the marks to your student, okay? So that I think that is what I can actually cover for today. So I hope you guys have actually learned something. And if there is any other things that we would like to clarify or we would like to cover, definitely we will have definitely we will have some other webinars in future whereby we can actually look into Google Classroom in more detail. So I hope all of you have learned something, all of you have discovered something, and make sure you guys are practicing and keep on exploring on Google Classroom. I can guarantee that this Google Classroom is definitely going to be beneficial for you and for your student, especially during MCO, in fact after MCO as well. So thank you very much, good luck, and see you all again. Tony, pass to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Krishna, for interesting sharing. Okay, I think we'll just take our 1 or 2 questions, then we'll wrap up our sessions today. So there's one question from Jin Wing. If the student is not assigned for any particular assignment, can he or she see the assignment?
If the student is not assigned to any particular assignment, this one, I don't think so. The student will be able to see any assignment, right? But you can actually try it out in Google Classroom and see how it works, all right? But if I'm not mistaken, if you don't assign the assignment to your students, then I don't think they will be able to see, all right? But it all depends on your assignment and the assignment type. If you are assigning student to all your students, then make sure you choose all. If you are assigning student to specific student, then make sure you choose that particular specific students.
Okay,
Right?
so one more for Noor Nani. Can we hide the score for the quiz?
Nani, very good question, because now what I did is I'm actually demonstrating using the free version of Google Classroom. At this moment, there is not much of features in which I can hide it, all right? But in case if you are having the upgraded version of Google Classroom, there are chances for you to hide it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Krishna. I think we have to wrap up our session for today. So, okay, so for certificate, okay, everyone, for certificate, if you are teachers and public, okay, please go to this link, okay, go to this link right now and register yourself so we can send you the e-certificate later on, okay, within 30 days, yeah. So this link will only be open for 30 minutes from now, okay. Please screenshot right now, or you can replay back this video later to go to take a look at this link. All right. Next is okay. So for SEGI staff only. So please go to this link, okay, and then fill in your attendance so that we can send you a certificate as well. Lastly, okay, feel free to join our Telegram. Okay, we will have Telegram to blast out all the information about our coming webinars. All right, so please feel free to join this Telegram. I have posted our link in our chat room here. So please join this Telegram so that we can send you more webinar incoming. So will have more part 2 or part 3 coming soon. So please join our Telegram so we can inform you. So for that, thank you very much, everyone. So stay home, stay safe, okay? So don't go anywhere, and also stay with us so we can give you more knowledge. So for that, thank you very much. Bye bye. Thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Krishna.
bye bye. Thank you, Tony. Bye.